Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. Oh, wait. I've disassembled something again. Man, those dudes in the comment section are gonna be pissed off. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome to the 1750 Barnfind GTV's engine in 1,000 pieces. It's been sitting at the back of the workshop and I wanted to rebuild it so I can put it back in the car when it's all finally done. However, I had no idea what kind of condition it was in internally and what it really needed. And I didn't know what, like, if the crank had a regrind on it or anything, so I didn't know what bearings to get. So I came in here, stripped it all apart, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in a very sanitized edit that makes it look a lot easier and a lot simpler than the process really was. Right. Overall, I'm actually pretty happy with the condition of this engine. It wasn't seized when I got it. It had oil in it that was pretty clean, although there wasn't very much oil in there. It seems like it's been rebuilt once before in its life. And when that was done, it had a regrind on the crank. They left the main bearings as standard and cut the big ends to 10 thou oversized bearings, which is fine. I'm not really sure if this crank is going to need to be cut again or if it could just be polished. If not, then it will probably be like 20 thou oversize on the big ends and 10 thou oversize on the mains, which is all fine. I mean, regrinding a crank is not such a big deal. Especially like 1750 and 1600 and 1300 cranks, you can recut them. It's the 2 liters we have to be a bit careful because they're nitrided from the factory and you can't really regrind them that easily. Or you can, but you lose that nitrided surface, which is a shame. Yeah, let's have a closer look at all the parts that have come out of this thing. Right, so the block is actually really healthy, which is a great thing. The studs look like they're in good shape and the water jacket doesn't have very much corrosion in it. I've taken the liners out of this because I have a new set of liners sitting in this box over here. A new set of new old stock Borgo 1750 pistons and liners. And I'm going to use that instead. I mean, the pistons and liners that came out of this are actually not in such bad shape. These are actually pretty decent, all things considered. They're not really too badly worn out. And the liners are pretty good too. However, I think somebody's tried to remove them before and remove them by knocking them out with something quite hard, and it's chipped the bottom of number 1. I mean, but anyway, that doesn't matter because I want a really nice fresh rebuild, and I want to be confident in this engine, so it's going to be new cylinder head and new pistons and liners, and I'm going to get the crank sorted out as well. Right, this is the head that I'm going to use, and it's already been completely rebuilt, and it is from a 1750 GTV Series 2. It's been completely gone through, and it's been built to be standard, pretty much. It's a very stock standard head, which is really what I want. I'm doing quite a conservative build on this car. I'm not going to go nuts and make it really hot. Yeah, this head is pretty close to standard. It's had the valve seats cut with 3 different angles to help it seal really nicely, but that's about it. I'm going to keep this a very, very stock standard build, because these engines are actually great stock, to be honest. They're pretty fantastic from the factory as they are. Everything else that came out of this is in pretty good shape. Timing cover's nice. It's not... Quite often you find these things like this hole where the bolt for the alternator goes in is all badly worn out, and they're corroded over here, and they've got broken studs and stuff like that. This one's in good shape. It's just really dirty. Inlet manifold as well, in very good shape, very minimal corrosion. Yeah, this water pump is going to have to be replaced because this is for an earlier car. It doesn't have the connection for a thermostat bypass hose on it. So I think what I'm going to have to do at some point this weekend is I'm going to take the cams and that out of the head and put the timing cover on the head and the sump back on this block and wheel it outside and pressure wash it, because it is really, really filthy. And I don't want to put it in my parts washer like this, because if I'm going to bead blast this thing needs to be really clean before I do that. No nasty surprises here. I'm really happy with how this is all looking. Right, that concludes our tour of the inside of the 1750. Next thing, I'm going to have to degrease and clean all of this aluminium because it's all fairly gross. And then I'm going to have to find a flywheel for this whole rotating assembly, and then take the whole thing, and I mean everything from the crankshaft pulley and the nut, the whole crank, pistons, conrods, gudgeon pins, the works, retaining pins for the pistons, the flywheel, the bolts, all the washers that go on, all the tab washers that go on everything, the pressure plate for the clutch. Everything all has to go away to be balanced, so I get a nice smooth running engine afterwards, because you don't want a car that's got something out of balance in the rotating assembly. Trust me, I know, because the Giulia has an out of balance flywheel and it drives me nuts. It doesn't rev, it's harsh, it frosts the fuel in the float bowls of the carburetors, so the fuel economy is terrible. Yeah, it's just going to wear out much quicker than it should if it's not balanced. So that is number one, but first I've got to find a flywheel to send with all this stuff. I've got bolts for a flywheel lying around here somewhere that I can use. Yeah, and then once that's all done, reassembly can start. And I've got the carburetors for this somewhere. That'll be another episode. Anyway guys, I'm going to call this an episode, and I'll leave it here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.